Hey, how's it going? My name is Douglas Thompson. I wanted to show you a little bit of an update on my shotgun. Sorry for the narrow field of view. I've been trying to work on a way to get this higher up without being too far away. But for now, it makes it where I can, kind of show you things close up without, having to strain too much. Anyway, so I guess the reason why I want to do this update is for two reasons. One, because the charging handle broke. Two, because that said charging handle was replaced for free. And also, I went through a little bit of a struggle trying to find the charging handle and get a hold of them. But now that everything's said and done, I'm very happy. And so let's start off by showing you the charging handle here. This is the original, and I will show you something in a second here. But as you can see, it looks like it's pretty soft metal. Like this wasn't very many rounds through it, and the thing literally so it's like this, and then it comes back at you like while it's loading the next round, and it literally at the very end of its cycle snapped off and flew off I don't know, it seemed like supersonic speed. But I remember I could feel a difference when the bolt carrier returned forward, and it made me look at the side of the gun, and I'm like, my charging handle's gone. The gun was obviously still usable after that. I just used a 40 Smith & Wesson cartridge, and you kind of popped it in there, and you can use a screwdriver, whatever. But I was really disappointed, so I ended up making my own charging handle. And as you can see, there's some rust on it. And I used to have a pin in here, but it kind of flew out, and this kind of got damaged, and it didn't last very long. But it worked for that shooting trip, so I was pretty happy with it for just that. And then then I was like, I can't use this shotgun for defense anymore. I can't trust it. This shotgun, the charging handle is going to come flying out, and I'm not going to be able to charge my weapon when it comes down to it. So I decided I'd give Hatsan a call, and I apologize for talking a little bit weird. My tongue is swollen because I bit it. So not to mention my wisdom tooth is kind of swollen too. So it's a little bit weird for me to talk, and it's a bit of a struggle. So bear with me. Anyway, so Hatsan, I got a hold of them and told them what happened, and they were like, oh, well, let me get the serials on it. And they discovered that the gun was only about not even a year old, or, a little bit more than a year old. I can't remember what they said, but because I got this used. And, they're like, that definitely should have happened. But they told me that they had a bad batch of charging handles. And if this is any indication here, let's see. For one, I noticed that the length, actually I can just show you like this. Let's see. Yeah. So the length, if you can see that the dot on the broken one is further forward than the new ones, that was causing it to, when it was inside the bolt carrier, it was causing it to flex more. Like when it would reach the end of its cycle, it would do that more, than being straight. So that looks pretty cool. It's like a 3D, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I noticed that. So that was definitely one of the issues that I was having with it, and probably one of the reasons it broke. It wasn't going all the way to the back of the bolt carrier like it should have. So, but yeah, they sent me one for free, and then I got an extra one just in case that ever happens again. And I don't know, maybe some weird thing happens, like where you can't get a hold of them anymore. Maybe they get discontinued. I just wanted to get a hold of one now. So yeah, they were really nice about it, and I even told them I had modified some things, like the piston and stuff, because I told them about some of the issues I was having. The gun wasn't returning all the way forward, so when it would go back forward and check the chamber here, go back forward, and I pull the trigger, the bolt carrier wouldn't be seated all the way forward, so I'd get a light hammer strike, and I'd have to charge the gun multiple times to be able to get the round to go off. So, and I told him about that, and then I told him that I modified the trigger group and some of the parts, and I bent, this a little bit so it's a little bit less sticky. I modified the receiver. I Loctited things. I stippled the front end. There's a little bit of paper towel stuff in there. And a few other little things. But I told him, I modified it, and then he's like, you know what, you're kind of up a shit's creek in terms of warranty, but I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that, and he hooked it up with the charging handle, because he knows damn well that what I did has nothing to do with the charging handle breaking. So he was more than willing to give me a warranty replacement for that. Now I don't know if they would be so nice to let me know, or let me have a warranty replacement part for anything else, knowing that I modified it. But I wanted to be as honest as possible so I could figure out what was wrong with my shotgun, because I couldn't get any clear answers on the internet. So all that was really happening though is the O-ring was kind of getting stuck a little bit too far forward. So when this would come, when that would come forward, it would be like a little bit less than what it needed to be in order to reach the cartridge, the primer. So this is the old one, and as you can see, it kind of got chewed up, but they seem to last for, probably, this one lasted probably like I don't know, 700 rounds or something like that. And I'm assuming I just got a pack of 6 of them, and you can get them on eBay. You can also get you can't get the charging handles on eBay, unfortunately, but you can get them directly from Hatsan. If you call Hatsan USA, they will hook you up, and especially if it's within the warranty. And it was only $10 anyway, so that's why I ordered another one on top of it. But they had great customer service. He was very the guy I talked to was very knowledgeable about the shotguns. He actually traveled to the Hatsan factory, I believe, like it was in Turkey. I think these are Turkish shotguns. And the light's bad. I forgot to turn the flash on the phone. And he has a lot of experience with troubleshooting it. But I took this out to Grand Junction and to a range where I had pretty much unlimited range recently, and I run exclusively slugs through it. Usually the Winchester Super X, because I can find it at Walmart, or the Remington Sluggers, 2 3/4. I have run 3-inch Magnum loads through it, and I haven't really noticed much of a difference. But with the 2 3/4 Super X and Remington Sluggers, I noticed that my range was kind of, surprisingly short. Like, I would not use this as a long range gun. For hunting, it'd probably be fine. I don't know if how close you're planning on getting to whatever you're hunting, but I think it'd be fine for that. Trying to think of a few more things to say about this, but overall, I've been very pleased with the quality. In terms of the parts quality and the fit and finish of the gun, and how well the parts fit together, how well everything kind of works together to cycle the gun and everything, I think this is a better quality shotgun than the Mossberg 930. And that was the gun I had researched for so long, trying to get a hold of one. And I ended up ultimately deciding to go with this. For one, because the price was right, but 2, because all the features were right. And I'm pretty sure I went over this in the last video, but everything I was planning on doing to the base model Mossberg 930 is already on this gun, So it already had, Picatinny braille up front for accessories. It already had Picatinny rail on the top of the receiver for accessories. It already had the oversized charging handle, It already had the capacity I was looking for, and I can still get a magazine extension tube for like $40 on eBay. And I believe these are compatible with 870 Remington 870 magazine tube extensions. I'm not positive about that. Don't take my word for it, but I think that is the case. The trigger group is much more solid, and the trigger actually feels better to me than the Mossberg 930. It already comes with a pistol grip, and it comes with an extra shell compartment for, you know, storage or whatnot. And the butt pad, you know, it's not like super awesome, but it does its job, and I'm happy with it. And it has a threaded barrel for different choke and different accessories like not muzzle brakes and but it has an attachment for door breaching, like the kind that you jam into a door and for like blowing off, you know, whatever you want on a door handles and stuff. And you know, all sorts of different kinds of chokes. It came with the fiber optic sights. Now the front one is off because I took it off because it was kind of in the way of the sight that I have on here, and I just got annoyed at looking at it every time, and I couldn't get it to co-witness properly. So yeah, but it's adjustable for elevation in the back here, and the front one I believe is adjustable too. Oh, actually, it's right here. Now I tried some O-rings from the hardware stores, and they were just not suitable for it does look to be adjustable. There's a Allen key right there for elevation, and this is adjustable for windage as well. Not an extreme amount left and right, but enough to where like you could get it zeroed pretty good. The front sight actually wobbled and shot off. So I ended up taking it off, and all I have to do to fix that is unscrew this and put a little bit of Loctite on it and screw it back on. And then, you know, if I wanted to, I could put a pin on there again. If it, you know, it's not really necessary, but I could, and then have this be on there like super good. And just to show you what it looks like, it would look like that. It's a well protected front sight. It's just a little bit too big for my taste. But if I weren't to run a red dot on here, I would definitely throw that back on there. And, you know, they're fiber optic, so you got really great visibility. But yeah, so the only negatives I've seen of this gun, and it does have rounds in it. I always keep my guns not loaded in the chamber, but I always keep my guns loaded. And one of the cool features about this is this little cutoff thing. And if you depress this, it will not load. You can like single shot this rifle, just breech load it. That's what you're gonna call it. And it does lock back after the last shot, which I love. Lets you can feel it when you have no more rounds in there, and that's a really cool feature, and I like it. And it, if you were to, for whatever reasons, want to do it for sporting reasons, you know, and not have like this. There are five in the tube here. Of the 2 3/4, and 4 fit in it for the 3-inch. But yeah, if you want to do it for sporting reasons, you have that option, and it's also great for cleaning the gun, maybe for, you know, just inspecting the gun. Like if you have something like maybe wrong with it or something, you can just lock the bolt carrier back and check in there, and not have to worry about a shell loading. And then all you have to do to reactivate it is push the shell in with your thumb. Do you hear that click? And then pull it up with your fingernail or whatever. And as soon as you let the loading gate, I don't know if that's what you'd call it, but the loading gate all the way down, you'll see the next round kind of pop into position. Oh, well. Oops. Well, there it went. Anyway. It's not normally that hard. I don't know. I think I jammed it up in there. Anyway, so I'm very happy with this gun. I really love this gun. In case I didn't go over it, this is a safety here. It's kind of in a good position. A lot of people say like the best position for a shotgun's safety is up here, and I would agree with that if this didn't have a pistol grip. You know, if I held it like this, you know, like a normal shotgun, yeah, it should definitely be up there for both right and left hand. But for a pistol grip, it is much preferred to have the safety be right here. Now, you can't reach it with your thumb unless you have some gargantuan thumbs. You have to break your grip to be able to reach it with your thumb to turn it off safety. But that's kind of a cool feature because, you know, it kind of just gets you off the trigger. You know, like this one, for right-handed people at least. Let's say I were to go, let's check the chamber. The chamber is clear. Now let's say I were to, you know, go from safe to no safety, or safety off, right? You can just literally use like the knuckle of your finger, and then you're right on target, or you're right on the position you need to be to pull the trigger. And to put the safety back on, you need to break your trigger, your grip. So that's kind of like extra reinforcement in your brain to know that it's not ready to shoot again. You know, that's kind of cool for training purposes. Typically, I don't use a safety unless I'm handing the gun to someone to shoot or whatever. But what else can I go over this gun? I could go over disassembly. It is a very, you know, I'll save it for another video, separate video. I like to take apart this gun almost entirely. I leave the stock on, and I obviously leave the Picatinny rail on, but everything else goes. I take the entire trigger group out, you know, every time I clean it, and it's a very easy gun to work on, like super simple parts. One of the reasons I like this over a lot of the other shotguns I was investigating was this gun takes no tools to take fully apart. You can field strip the entire gun without tools. I can't remember what shotgun I was looking at, but I remember there was one like where you had to, you know, unscrew something here with like an Allen key and stuff. It's like, who's gonna carry an Allen key with them? And then, you know, like, oh, my shotgun's broken or malfunctioning. Like, I gotta go get an Allen key. You know, like, no, you're not gonna want to do that when it actually comes time. So, I mean, you're not going to even want that, like, when you're just at the range. You don't want to have to bring tools with you to be able to check your gun. I mean, if your gun has something seriously wrong with it, you know, it's decommissioned for the day, like, I can, you know, that's fine. But, like, if it's just something stupid, like something's jammed in the receiver or something like that, and you can see it and you can get it out by field stripping it, I don't want to have tools. And I'm pretty sure you don't want to have tools either. So one more thing. Besides the trigger group being relatively high quality, like the hammer and the trigger and a lot of the parts like seem to be well finished and hardened properly. Let's put this. Let me show you this again. So it doesn't load the next round. But like when you get to the last round, right? And you get to the point to where you want to, you know, start loading up again. You know, you throw a round in the chamber, and the very next thing you do is you start loading through the loading gate. And the great thing about this gun is as soon as you start loading, this little thing right here is the bolt release. So you don't have to after you start loading, push anything to get that round. You know, a lot of, like, this is usually where the bolt release is on semi-auto shotguns. And while that would be convenient, you know, but it's one extra step. Like, you throw a round in there, immediately when you start loading the next round, you know, let's pretend there's a shell in my hand. You know, load it in there, and then you're already in the loading process, and you're already ready to go. It's cocked and locked. You got a round in there. You know, if it came down to it, you know, and you had to stop loading, you're already ready to fire. You don't need to do an extra step. So I love that feature. at first I really didn't like it, and I was like, oh, I want the bolt release to be on the receiver, but it makes a lot of sense. It is a little bit, you have to get used to it, and you have to kind of, like, it stays locked. Like, that will not depress unless you push that first. So you have to get used to loading a certain way, So, that's kind of a negative and a positive in my eyes, but I really like that feature. I don't know how well it would work under stress, but, when I'm at the range and then practicing and training with it, it seems to work really well. So, I'm a big fan of that feature. That's about it. Just everything's really tight on it. There's no wobble, the tolerances are loose where they should be, and the tolerances are tight where they should be. Like all the parts fit together really tight, and it's a solid shotgun. And I would recommend this to anyone looking for a semi-automatic shotgun, and especially now that I have experience with their customer support and how quickly they respond. I got these charging handles, I think, like 3 days after I had talked to him and ordered it, something like that, maybe even shorter, maybe even 2 days. But I remember thinking to myself, I'm surprised at how quickly this came. Like most companies are like, yeah, we'll take care of that guy. I said I'll send it. Like, see, But this guy was honest. He was knowledgeable, and he was helpful in the fact, in the way that. I had even told him I modified some things, but he could sense that I knew what I was doing and that I'm experienced, with guns enough to not, fuck the gun up. And I didn't. Like, I've improved this gun tenfold. Like, all the slight improvements I've done have only improved its reliability. And not that it needed it, but I like to, get my guns working as best they can. And, I guess one of the negatives would be this fore end here is very slick, and that's why I stippled it. And it's something you can do. I'm pretty sure it voids your warranty, but it is something you can do, or you can add like grip tape like people do. But I prefer the stippling one because it's kind of cool because it personalizes your gun, and I'm sure this part isn't too much if you needed to replace it, but it's not going to fall off or peel off or melt off in any condition. It's part of the gun. That's why I like it. And I thought about doing this part too, but I pretty much got it to where my thumb is, my hand, like where my fingers are when I grip around it, and the majority of the bottom. So it's pretty solid. Like it's not gonna go anywhere. You're definitely not gonna be doing the mag pull over the thing. This thing, the barrel gets hot. So like I keep my hand in this position mostly. It's got a long length of pull for a gun, but I love it. So it might not be for like the smaller people. I'll definitely say that this is not for a small person, but you can get the collapsible stocks that collapse about down to that much or so, and you can I think they're compatible with AR-15. I think it's an AR-15 buffer tube. If it's not, it's a pretty cool looking stock to begin with, and I think it has like 4 or 5 positions and maybe 3. But bottom line is it's awesome, and I was thinking about getting it, but I didn't because I'm happy with this. Until this breaks or anything, the only upgrade I'm thinking about doing is getting that magazine extension because I do like having extra rounds. But really for the purpose that I have placed upon this, as a home defense gun and a target gun, I love this thing, and I would recommend it to anyone that loves shotguns. That's my video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And thumbs up and subscribe and like, all that good stuff. Like is Facebook. Yeah. Okay. Have a good day.